Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still with you in our edition of Cairo Local Time and with more news under the title The 12 Best Tourist Activities That Can Be Done in Egypt. British website The Independent shed light on the best touristic activities that can be done during a tourist visit to Egypt. The report began by pointing out that Egypt, of course, represents a link between northeastern Africa, Middle East, where a unique ancient monuments meet with Cairo, the capital, which represents a vital center of culture, explaining the increasing demand that Egypt is witnessing as an attractive tourist destination. We're now delighted to be joined over the telephone by our guest for this afternoon, Dr. Elhamy Zayaty, our tourism expert. Dr. Elhamy, a very good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Thank you very much for joining me, Doctor. And of course, the website, the independent website report has said that an increase in the number of tourists is expected in Egypt very, very soon. What are the current numbers and what are your expectations for the upcoming season, Doctor?
All what I can say, I can't say quantitatively exactly how much is the increase, but because we don't have access to the numbers. But all what I can say is that we feel a major increase in the business we are getting through our companies, through the hotels. And the fact is the hotels are raising their prices. So if they are raising their prices, it means they get more demand, and that's why they raise their price. So that's one thing. But I cannot tell you exactly what is the increase.
Yes, indeed. But Dr. Egypt, of course, is characterized and very recently has been characterized by the diversification of the types of tourism available in Egypt. It's no longer just, beach tourism or cultural tourism. Now Egypt offers a variety of different kinds of tourism to cater for lots of different diverse needs of different tourists from all over the world. Could you tell us a bit about this step and how it has managed to attract different kinds of tourists?
Well, there are a few things that we have inherited them, like all the monuments we have in Egypt. If you go from the north, from the Mediterranean Sea, all the way to Abu Simbel, you have monuments. You don't have monuments concerning the Pharaonic period only. You have monuments concerning the Christians, the Jews, and the Arabs, the Muslims. So you have all sorts of monuments all the way from up to down. And that's one very important factor. Secondly, if you leave the valley of the Nile and go to the desert and go to the Red Sea, on the Red Sea, of course, you have the leisure, all sorts of hotels, and they have all kinds of water activities. And this is a good attraction for the tourists. Now, if we go to the desert, you have magnificent deserts. And from Wadi Rayyan is near Fayoum. You have the fish that, the Mediterranean Sea used to come all the way up to Fayoum in the old time, prehistoric time. So you have the bones of fish at this area, which are fantastic. You have waterfalls in this area, in the desert. It's absolutely amazing what you have there.
Yes.
Then if you go further west, you go from Cairo to Wahat. Then we have three types of Wahat, three types of oases. First is Bahariya and Farafra. They are the closest and the easiest for reach. Of course, between Bahariya and Farafra, you have what we call the White Desert and the Black Desert. And all over Egypt, you have sand dunes, and this is one activity you can perform in the desert. But over and above, you can see the beauty of the desert, and that's in itself splendid.
Yes.
Plus, there are some adventurers and some foreigners that have built small hotels in this area, in Bahariya and in Farafra. Plus, in Farafra, you can see something unique. It's how the ancient Egyptians used to produce recipients from clay, like the olla, the gargoulettes. This is clay, and this is a secret known for ancient Egyptians. And this is how they were able to cool the water. So this you see it in Farafra. If you go to Siwa, it's a different thing. You have all the lakes. You have salt lakes and sweetwater lakes. You have lakes with fish and lakes without fish. It's absolutely fabulous, and we don't know why. And they are existing one next to the other. So it's really something unique. Of course, you have they grow the palm trees and the olive trees. This is the traditional plants, but now also they have water, very famous water that we extract from the soil there. And this is sold as bottled water, as the name is very famous everywhere. Now, if you go further down to Kharga and Dakhla, Kharga is the nearest one to Luxor, and you have the Ibis temple. So this is something. You have some very nice things left from the Turkish occupation. And then you have something unique, which is the village, which lived like the old time people lived in a village in the desert. I.e., you can see the people cleaning in front of their house every day with the sand because they have no water. And every week, the whole village cleans the whole village itself. So everybody participates, and again, they clean it with sand. But more important is how they preserve the food. It's fantastic. And they have the system for the toilets. This is something unique.
Yes.
I mean, I've been there. It's something very, very, very interesting.
Absolutely, Doctor. Now, in the report... Yes, Doctor, carry on, sorry.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
The report also spoke a lot about, the Nile cruises between the cities of Luxor and Aswan, and, the fabulous program that can be had in these Nile cruises, and the short stops across the cruise where you are taken to see all the different magical monuments of the times and the different dynasties. How, popular is this as a destination for tourists, Doctor?
This is the most popular way of traveling. Why? Because you see all what you have to see, all what's important, plus you don't have to pack and unpack every day.
Yes.
Because if you go overland, you have to pack and unpack. Plus, you cannot go overland except from the western desert. And then you have to wait for a special escort from the police to take you there. So the best way is to go by boat, and we have very nice boats now. The one that survived are the good ones.
Absolutely.
So this makes it very attractive for the tourists. I want to tell you that in Nubia, after the cataract, the first cataract, if you go to the Nubian village, it's fabulous. They made some small hotels, unique. Some on the mountains, some as they used to be, or as they live, the Nubian. And they offer Nubian food, but something very important, you have beaches on the Nile with sandy beaches, sandy like Alexandria. And the water behind the cataract is very, very crystal clear. It's fabulous.
Absolutely.
Now, if you go to the Sharm el-Sheikh and the Sinai, of course, you have the very famous site of Mount Moses or Mount Sinai. And people like to go there at 2 o'clock in the morning. They climb all the way up and they see the sunrise. This is breathtaking. It's absolutely, this is where Moses received the 10 Commandments.
Yes.
So this is another thing which is
another
religious.
Highlight. Yes.
But even if you don't have religious feelings, you feel something unusual. I mean, it's very, very important.
Absolutely right.
So,
right. I'd like to thank you very, very much, Dr. Elhamy Zayaty, our tourism expert. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and your insights.